I've got Talir here to start off this podcast to talk about registration for Spoilercon, because registration for Spoilercon 2020 is now open, which is awesome.
Yeah, so it's great to finally be able to announce Spoilercon. We kind of announced the dates previously, but now we have tons of information for everybody. The planning committee has been hard at work. So we're doing this October 2nd to 4th, 2020 in Portland, Oregon. The con officially opens Friday afternoon and ends Sunday morning at our farewell breakfast. But we found in at least the last year that people often want to arrive on Thursday, particularly if you're coming from the East Coast or overseas, just kind of having a little bit of time to adjust to the time zone change, get to meet everybody informally. There's also going to be a Friday morning optional pre-registration hike that you could participate in. And then a lot of people want to leave actually on Sunday night or even Monday, because we have a really, it's kind of, again, nice to kind of wind down your con experience. And we have a optional brewery tour for Sunday afternoon that DT is organizing. That sounds amazing.
And I'll speak from experience. Oftentimes the first day and the last day when everyone's arriving and leaving are some of the best memories of the con. Those times on the ends, surprisingly meaningful, which I didn't expect. The first time I went to JordanCon, I didn't leave the buffer, and I regretted it.
That's certainly what they say for JordanCon. I mean, sometimes you don't have the time, right? So if you have to take time off work, you don't have that luxury. But if you do have the luxury of time, it is amazing to just be able to informally interact with everybody without having to rush from an event or anything, and to explore Portland a bit more, because there's some opportunity for exploring Portland, but we've got a pretty packed schedule. And so if you want to check out what's a really cool city, arriving a little bit early, leaving a little bit late, it's a great way to do it.
And I've been really excited watching all the work that's gone into finding a venue and just how much work has gone into that based on the feedback we've gotten in the previous years. So this year we're going to be at the Portland State University Place Hotel and Conference Center, which is super exciting because it's going to give us so many more options for space, for venues, that we don't have to travel to do our shows.
So we're really excited about the venue. Last year, we had a good space at the hostel, and there were a lot of great things about it. But we did do a survey, and one of the things that came back in the survey was an issue where our space where we socialized was right outside where some people's rooms were. And so if you were not the person that wanted to stay up till 3 a.m, too bad, because there was a party going outside, right outside your room. So we really,
right.
And that was fun for the people at the party, not so much fun for the people that might wanted sleep or some quiet time. And people really wanted just some of our own space where you could be quiet. It just didn't seem like there was really a place to escape. So we started looking for other venues, and we're really excited about the University Place Hotel. It's in downtown Portland, right near public transport. There's a Max stop right outside the hotel. Pretty easy to get there to and from the airport. It's a traditional hotel, so you can have your own hotel room. We got a really great room block rate, $130 plus tax. My understanding is
that's great.
That's great. Yeah. That's
for
really cheap.
downtown Portland, that's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. And breakfast is included in that. The events team has been really great in terms of working with us. So we have a lot of dedicated space just for our group. We have a ballroom space that we're going to use for all of our main events. And we also got what we're calling our steading. And this is a smaller room, and it's a dedicated, kind of quiet introvert space. Because some people said they got really overwhelmed by meeting so many people and having so many events. So we're kind of create a little retreat for quiet activities that people can go to at any time during the con, just to have some quiet time, maybe some quiet conversation, but just sort of escape from the larger group.
We should pack that room full of phone chargers.
That's actually a really great idea. We were thinking more about like books and yarn crafts and coloring and that kind of thing, games. But I think actually, having a place to charge phones might be even more useful than that.
The recharge room, both for your emotional state and your battery.
I like that. Okay, the recharge room or steading. It's great. We also have a spoiler suite, which is basically like a JordanCon style con suite that we're going to use as sort of our headquarters, and we're going to have probably a couple of our meals served in there.
So let me get this right. If I'm staying in the hotel and I paid for a ticket, how many meals is that?
That's all your meals.
That's all my meals.
That's all your meals. That's Friday dinner, because the con starts in the afternoon. Saturday morning breakfast covered by your room. We're serving Saturday lunch. We're serving Saturday dinner, and in your Sunday morning breakfast, all included in your fee if you stay at the hotel. We think it's going to be a really, really great space. We've been really hard at work. We've had people go there, check it out, take photos, figure out the best routes between places. There's a restaurant on site, food trucks right outside. I think it's going to be pretty fantastic.
This is amazing, yeah.
For those of you who are going to come to Spoilercon or are thinking about coming, to book your room, I'm going to give you the information now, but also you can always go to www.spoilercon.org for all of your con information, to register to attend, and to find out this information about the venue and how to book. But if you call 1-866-845-4647 and then press 1 for reservations, ask for the Spoilercon 2020 room block, and that's how you're going to reserve. Unfortunately, you can't reserve online. I know that sounds terrible, but we really worked with them. They just don't have the ability to do room blocks for events online, so you do have to call 866-845-4647 and get a room on the block. But you don't have to go ahead and reserve your room now, because we might lose the room block rate if we don't have enough rooms reserved by June 1, or at least more people won't be able to join in the room block rate.
And how much does reserving a room cost?
Reservation costs nothing.
Good. So go do that.
No, yeah, they don't charge you till you show up. So yeah, so go ahead and reserve the room.
And how much alcohol is included with the ticket?
None. None. Well, Spoilercon does not provide alcohol to its attendees. Although we are an adult-only event that's 18 plus, and yes, you need to be 21 plus. So we don't provide any alcohol, but the restaurant on site does serve alcohol. So, of course, people are welcome to buy their own, drink responsibly. And then the brewery tour on Sunday, which is the optional add-on event, obviously the alcohol is included in that if you sign up for that event. But at Spoilercon proper itself, we're not providing any alcohol. So budget for that, if that's something you're interested in.
One of the things that was awesome that we pulled off was we had an art contest, and we got 6 submissions this year. I got to tell you, it was tough. I am glad that I didn't have to pick, that we actually got to vote on them, because we have some amazing submissions this year. It was adorable, but we finally went with Name Speaker, or Canadian Kelsey, who did a Spoilercon 2020. It was adorable. There was the fox and the raven. Go check it out on the website, spoilercon.org. Thank you so much for doing that. The branding is going to be spot on, and I'm sorry we can't use all the art, because I wanted to. Like, I literally was like, how can we use all of this? And Talia's like, no. Stay on message.
Yeah, I'm the harsh taskmistress sometimes when it comes to Spoilercon, right? Seth and Patrick have these great ideas, and I'm the one that has to be the practical voice of reason and be like, well, we had an art contest to determine the art that we're going to use. But yeah, the other artists did an amazing job, but we're really excited about Kelsey's winning entry, and we're going to use it. It's already up on the website. You can take a look. We're going to use it in all of our communications. It's going to be on our T-shirts this year. So we're really excited about it, and just the enthusiasm that it showed, how excited everyone is about SpoilerCon and willing to share their art and their entries is really fantastic. And
the work they put into the art is amazing too.
Oh my God. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. So those of you who have any artistic inclinations, keep us in mind for next year.
And if you did one this year, maybe update it for 2021.
I could definitely see some of those winning in a future year. It was a really, really close vote.
Yeah, we certainly had no dearth of options.
No. Yeah, we were spoiled for choice.
Let's talk to the people who were at SpoilerCon last year, because I'm hoping that most of you are going to come back. What's different besides the hotel, and what's the same?
So let's start with what's the same. We're keeping all of our popular events. So the live recording with you and with Patrick, we're going to do it on Saturday night. So kind of have a nice build up to the live recording. We're bringing back Wheel of Time Dungeons and Dragons with Aganor and Fate. The walking tour that was led by Patrick and Ogier Tendencies last year, which ended with a trip to Powell's City of Books, the famous bookstore. Our Wheel of Time trivia contest will be back, led by Aradia and Kelsey again, as well as the costume contest. So pretty much all the greatest hits are definitely going to be back for next year.
Did we force the Grey Warder to write the trivia contest instead of participate, so she wouldn't dominate it again?
Well, certainly we've made sure that the Grey Warder is on our SpoilerCon team for trivia at JordanCon. That was the first thing that we locked down.
Good.
personally speaking, Grey Warder was on my team, and that's why we won at Spoilercon on trivia. So I'm less inclined to just foster Grey Warder onto the creation team, but it is probably for the best. That's the reason Aradia was put in charge. Otherwise, it would just devolve into a all out battle royale over who got Aradia on the team. So you asked also about what's new. So you wouldn't think that we could pack even more events in, but we really
and yet
we really have. What we're doing on Saturday afternoon is what we call Choose Your Own Adventure. It's a dedicated time in the afternoon, a pretty large block, and we have several options for people to choose from on what they want to do. So last year we had Wheel of Time Dungeons & Dragons, The Walking Tour, and Powell's, and those are staying. But we have 3 new options this year for that time that we're really, really excited about. So first, we're going to have games and conversations. We're going to have some board games available. I'm going to actually bring my copy of the Mistborn board game this year if anyone wants to play that.
Ooh.
Some people know I own over 100 board games, and so I might bring some of those for people to be able to play. Kind of your nice sort of relaxing option. And then our second option, Seth, you are going to be leading.
I am going to be teaching a juggling class for beginners mostly. I may do just a little bit of advanced stuff if there's somebody there who has experience doing, just a simple 1, 2, 3. How do you start juggling? Something that I've had a passion for years and years and years, and it's come and gone. But I got to tell you, I took a simple class like this, and that's where it all started. Once you have the basics down, it's just practice.
I'm excited about the juggling class. I mean, it's kind of everyone can get their gleeman on a little bit, which is always,
exactly.
And that's
and I will be wearing my gleeman cloak while I teach it.
I learned how to juggle when I was a teenager, partially because it seemed whenever you're in high school in the U.S., it seems like there's constantly a talent show that has required participation.
Ugh, I know.
Right. And so I was like, I don't have any talents. So I just learned how to juggle so that if ever anyone demanded that I participate in an impromptu talent show, that I could do something. And so that's how I learned to juggle. But I'm really out of practice. So it'll be nice to have a lot of people able to juggle. And then I can just see us the rest of the weekend, just everyone wandering around juggling. There are worse things. And our other option for that time period has an additional fee. So I should say your Spoilercon fee includes almost all of our events, but there's some events that have an additional fee. And the reason for that is because there's actually a fee attached to being able to do it, or there's transportation involved. So we just want to make sure that we're covering that. And so this option is one of those. And that is Brigida's archery competition led by Canadian Kelsey. We're actually going to take people over to a local archery range, and they're going to teach you how to shoot. And we're going to have, I think Kelsey said something about printing out photos of Trollocs that we're going to put on the on the targets.
Nice.
So we can go Trolloc hunting.
Awesome. Oh, that's great. You should do a fade in there every once in a while.
Yeah. And then you have to get 5 arrows on the fade in order to take down the fade.
Right.
I like that. Yeah. So that's a really fun option. And Kelsey put a lot of work into organizing that and making sure that could happen. When you do go to register for SpoilerCon at spoilercon.org, right now what we're doing is we're asking you to indicate what your top 2 choices would be for your Choose Your Own Adventure. And that's just going to help us plan numbers to figure out, space and that kind of thing. So you're not committing to anything if you say that you're really, really into the archery lesson and later on decide that the $25 fee is too steep. You're not committing. We're just trying to get a sense of who's interested in what so we can plan. And then later on, a few months from now, we'll invite everyone to come back to the website to sign up for your events and pay any fees that are needed, to buy t-shirts, to volunteer to help out at the con. So if you subscribe to our newsletter, which you can do at spoilercon.org, you'll get all that information. So you will not miss out. And we'll contact you once you've registered for SpoilerCon. But do make sure that you tell us what you're most interested in.
So tell me more about this survey.
When you go to register at spoilercon.org, you just go to the website and then click on register to attend. The first thing you're going to do is fill out a participation survey. This is going to ask you for your basic contact information, what name you want to appear on your badge. It's going to ask about any accommodations you might need for mobility purposes, if you have any food allergies. So since we're going to be providing several meals, we want to make sure we know about, food allergies. If you have a particular dietary need, like you're vegan or vegetarian or dairy-free or gluten-free, we need to know so that we can make sure we accommodate everyone. I think we did a really good job at that last year, and we want to make sure that we do that again this year. We're also asking about any Aja allegiances that you may have, which is going to help us for some con activities. And you can indicate as many as you want. Just remember, if you're buying tickets for multiple people, like a partner or significant other, just make sure you fill out a participation survey for both people. And then once you fill out the survey, then it's going to take you over to pay for your ticket, which you're going to do sort of via PayPal.
Registration last year was a bit of a pain point. What are we doing this year on that?
So we're definitely doing, last year, one of the problems was the space, right? That we had registration was in the same space as the socializing space, and we hadn't really thought through what to do with people when they were done. So we're going to streamline as much of that as possible, try to get as much of it done before people show up. For example, badges, we're going to do badges ahead of time so that people don't have to construct their own badges when they get there. We're going to do registration in the lobby and then be able to send people to another space, or the lobby's huge, right? So there'll be a lot more space for people to interact. We're also planning to do some icebreaker activities after registration before, with dinner, so that people get to meet each other and get to talk. So we are trying to make sure that goes a little bit smoother, make sure we have volunteers in place. So I think it'll be a much smoother process.
Can you talk a little bit about accessibility?
Oh, sure. So we're working really hard with the hotel to make sure that the con is accessible. One of the nice things this year is that all the con events, except for archery or the walking tour, which go off-site, all of our actual con events are going to be at the hotel, which is ADA compliant. So if you do have any mobility concerns, let us know, visual needs, hearing needs, or anything else, just let us know. We can definitely make sure that we're going to get you to events, make sure there are people there for you if you need any assistance. We're committed to working with everyone to make sure that everyone has a great Spoilercon experience regardless of their needs.
All right, so you've convinced me. I want to go. How do I book a room again?
Okay, so first go to...
Because I forgot.
I know. I talk a lot. And so people normally tune out, so I totally get it. So first, you want to make sure you book your ticket. Our $110 early bird rate expires at the end of May, and then it's going to jump to $125. So make sure you book your ticket before then and fill out our survey at www.spoilercon.org. Then you want to go ahead and call the hotel. Again, sorry about that. And that number again...
Again, that number is 866-845-4647. Press 1 for reservations and ask for the Spoilercon 2020 room block. Sorry, I had to do it. I had to.
I think you could make a living doing that way. So the other thing I would just say is when you go to spoilercon.org, in addition to registering to attend, just a reminder, please sign up for the newsletter. Our communications team is sending those out every month, and it's the best way to make sure that you don't miss out on information. We make announcements on the podcast. There's lots of information on Discord and on the website. But if you want like a single document that's going to tell you what you need to know, sign up for that newsletter.
And I just want to say a huge thanks to everyone who have been working so hard to make this happen. Me and Patrick have sort of let you guys do your thing, and it is amazing. So first of all, huge thank you to you, Talir. You have done amazing work. You have pulled this together in an amazing way. You are the Mahale. You are the leader. You are the reason that this is going to be amazing. But I also want to do a shout out to Leia, our communications chair, Ogier, the venue coordinator, Kelsey Namespeaker, who's doing volunteering, the accessibility in the events, Fate, who's doing all things tech. He is the king of tech. Aradia, who's doing the trivia, and the other Kelsey, First Weaver, who's also working on trivia and the costume contest. Jess, who's the communications and just at large, trying to make sure that things are going well. Super Chicken, who's going to be around as well, who has been arranging a lot of meetups here in Portland, so he's really good at that sort of thing. He's also working on the catering. And DT, who's the official Spoilercon ambassador to JordanCon, and he'll be running the brewery tour.
We have a great team, and I definitely could not be happier with everyone just devoting so much of their time and energy to make this happen. And I think this is just such a testament to the community that you and Patrick have built, and this podcast that is just this totally amazing piece of art and work that you guys do, and that you put all of your heart and soul into, and we all know that. And I just, those of us that are working really hard on Spoilercon and those who attend Spoilercon, we're doing that because we love you and Patrick, and we love the work that you've put together into this podcast that's brought all of us together. If the work that my team and I are doing to make this happen is contributing to that wonderful community and this wonderful podcast. And we're all just super happy to do it and excited to see everybody. It was so much fun last year. Even for me, and I was running around like crazy in order to get things done. I had such a blast.
Have fun. Almost.
It's been known, yes, that sometimes it is known that sometimes I do have fun. Just making sure that I have a lot to do. So I didn't get to meet and spend as much time with everybody last year as I did, as I would have hoped to do. But I think this year, just the way we have the team set up and the way the responsibilities are set up and our great volunteers who helped out last year, I think that it's going to be even better.
I'm
really looking forward to it. And I just encourage everyone, sign up. You're not going to want to miss out.
We're experienced at doing this now. And we hit a few bumps last year. One of those was we overworked you.
Yeah. Well, I think this year, one of the nice things about how we have things set up this year is that everyone has their individual responsibilities. Whereas last year, I was the chair, and then everyone was kind of an at-large member. And so now that everyone has their specific responsibilities, I have a lot less to do, honestly. I get check-ins, I make sure that things are happening, but everyone else is just crushing it. And it's fantastic. And it's just such a joy to be part of this and to be able to contribute to the community in this way and to create a great event for you and Patrick to host and just to welcome all of the listeners, whether they're on Discord or not, to this event and get them to meet people that are not only huge Wheel of Time fans or Mistborn fans or Broken Earth fans or Dungeons & Dragons fans that are, specifically fans of this podcast and the work that you and Patrick are doing every week. So thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Wheel of Time Spoilers Podcast. Rate us in the Apple Podcast app or support us on Patreon. Is that good enough?